Hey guys, welcome back. So I am doing a little project right now. And I'm not going to edit this too much, I don't think, so excuse all the awkwardness in my crazy workspace here. Excuse me, and burping. So that sci-fi shoot that I was doing the other day, which is a Han Solo fan film, they need a blaster for a bounty hunter, and they contacted me yesterday and asked if I had anything. I have this NERF gun that I started to fix up a few months ago. Just did a crappy paint job on it just so it didn't look like a NERF gun. And I said I could do a little bit of modification of this to make it look a little more Star Wars-esque. So I've gathered up a bunch of greeblies and stuff from around my room. I've got tons more, but I figure these are a good batch to start with. And I am going to glue stuff on here and kind of detail it out until I think it looks more like a Star Wars gun. And then I'm going to go and paint it up and weather it, detail it, all that stuff, and then bring it to them either later tonight or tomorrow sometime. So let's get started. I've got the gun here. I like the overall look. I feel like it needs a little more weight at the front. It needs some stuff on it to make it, like I said, more Star Wars-esque. Now I think it's important to add some greeblies, but I don't want to go too far and make it crazy. One of the first things I'm going to do is add this piece here, which is a part of Ray's staff that when I was printing didn't come out right. Now in order to make this quick, I'm using Zap-A-Gap and some Zip Kicker, which basically makes this glue set off really quickly so that I can work fast, get this thing done in a really quick way. So I'm going to try to line these parts up. And I just bumped it. Of course, I'm going to mess this up. So I get this to where I think it's as straight as I can get it by hand. I just hit it with a little kicker. And this will help it grab into place if I haven't already waited too long with this glue. There it goes. Starting to set here. I didn't get the kicker all over everything, so get a few blasts in there to hold it, and then I'll add a little more glue. Basically, I'm going to hold this in place. There's already some Zip Kicker on here, so this is going to set just about instantly when I drip this in. Not go anywhere. Now some of these parts, like I got a scope from a Stormtrooper blaster, some weird handles, some R2-D2 parts, so you know, categorically speaking, these are Star Wars pieces that I'm using here. Other random parts, I have a muzzle hider, a flash hider from some kind of blaster. A lot of 3D printed parts that either didn't come out all the way or may have been scaled slightly wrong for what I was using. And now I'm adding just this front piece here. I think that kind of already helps with the look. Make sure it's got plenty of glue. I don't want this to come undone while they're acting out parts. Glue this stuff in place. It is definitely awkward to have a camera on me while I work. I feel the urge to talk, and I don't know if I should or not, or if it's just okay just to watch what I do. So now we have a little tip on there. This is a NERF Recon, I believe is the name of this gun, and just a little while ago I sanded off all the logos, so there's no more NERF logo on here at all. I had these handles that came off of a filing cabinet that I thought I've had these for years, just sitting in a box, and I think this is probably a good spot to use them. I think they would look good right in this area here. So this sort of settled, and tack it down with a little bit of glue, and then once I feel it's set real nice, I will add some more. And this doesn't have to be perfect because it's just a prop. It's not a real deal kind of gun. So I think that helps from the front, kind of buffered out. But because it's cut away, if you hold it, your fingers can still fit in there ergonomically. I think it's a good fit. And I will add more glue to these parts. I'm going to put one on this side as well. I've got 2 of these guys. So a little bit of glue. Now the sanded surface here is going to help this adhere even better. But this glue is very strong. If you've never used Zap-A-Gap and some zip kicker, this stuff is fantastic. I use it all the time for projects. And the kicker goes a long way, so this can will last me a very long time. This can just ran out, and I've used this one for about, I don't know, 8 months on lots and lots of projects. And just to give you an idea how far one container will go. So yeah, I think that looks nice. Adds a nice shape to the gun here from the front view. I'll get a little more of this glue in here. Make sure this doesn't come off. Go. A little bit of bottom. Now, if there was more time, what I would love to do is 3D model and print a custom rig, but this is very short notice. Go. Those pieces are on there pretty good for now. So let's see what was next. One of the things I like about a lot of the Star Wars guns is they feel front heavy, and this gun doesn't feel like that yet. It's got a lot of the meat is in the middle, and it seems slightly long to the back, and I'd like to buff up the front here. So I got these little R2-D2 leg pieces, and I was going to attach them in this area. I think that would have a nice look. Even back here is not bad, but I think I'm going to go for the front. I think that looks a little bit cooler. So, same deal, a little bit of glue. Oh, dripping everywhere. Make sure it looks straight. A little bit of kicker left on the front there, so already it's stuck in place. And we'll do another one on this side. don't even need the kicker really, because there's some left over. It gives it a little weight at the front. That looks kind of neat. I'm definitely going to add some more of this glue on here. Make sure that it doesn't come off at all. Now, let's see what other parts that I have. Got some part of a Han Solo grip covered with dog hair. And I thought about putting this on the bottom up here, but I don't think it's going to work out quite the way I anticipated. Doesn't look bad there, but not quite what I'm going for. So, let's see. What else do I have? I've got a scope from the Stormtrooper gun, which I think would look good right back here. Kind of offset at an angle, so if you're aiming, it's kind of on this right side. But it needs to be lifted up with something. I also have this metal piece here, which fits actually right in the front of the gun really nicely. But I don't know if I should go with them. You know what? I think, I don't know, it kind of looks cooler down the front with it open. Taking video. So, my wife just came to talk to me while I'm making video. Let's see. I got this random piece here. Kind of looks like something that would fit in this rail just about perfectly, so I can add it. I don't know if it's going to stay really well, but it helps keep it from looking too much like a Nerf gun. Anything I can do to minimize that look is good. Just glue my finger to this thing. That's good. Ooh. I'd like to cut these little pipes and put a metal rod around it, but I don't know if there's sufficient time to do that. Another thing I have is a big 3PO greebly. It might actually look pretty good on the bottom. Fits just about perfectly on the top. I think it looks better underneath. And I've got all these little pieces that came off of my tent that used to be outside that broke. And these fit on this rail up here really nicely. So I figure I can set these on top. Maybe underneath. Oh, there we go. Maybe I'll put them on the bottom side of this. Think that looks better? Maybe? Not sure. Let's see what I got here. Yeah, I think that works kind of nice. So I'm going to stick these up here. See what a good way to do this is. actually pretty low on Zap-A-Gap, but I think I've got enough to finish this guy up today. Some of these pieces I'm actually going to screw down, and I'm going to add some actual bolts, nuts and bolts, just to pop out the detail with some real metal. I think that'll look good. Okay. So now I've got some parts down on the bottom. Now what I'm going for isn't a gigantic change in this. I just want it to look a little different and somewhat disguise the fact that it's part of a NERF gun. And I don't want to go overboard on the detail because that might just be a little too much. And this little metal piece is kind of neat. I wish I could figure out a good spot to put it where it didn't look like too much. The BB-8 eyeball, don't want to use that. Got lots of 3PO Rand McGreevely pieces that I could put on here. Now, one thing to remember, this kind of look cool inside. I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to put these in here, and they'll be somewhat disguised just inside here. No, don't glue down yet. That's on there. Alright. Not as straight as I would like for that one, but it's okay. Just a little bit of zip kicker down in these areas still, so the stuff kicks off really fast. See if I can get this one in place better than the last one. Looks pretty good. So those are just going to be hidden up underneath there. It's an extra little detail. What else do I have here? Another R2D2 part. This actually fits down the barrel as well, but I don't think it looks good. 3PO knee greebly. I think would kind of look cool coming out of the bottom like this. If I could drill this out, maybe set that in there, but I'm not sure. Let's do it. Let's do it. Got my drill right here. What size is this? I'll start this with a small one here. Smaller bit. Try to get this centered. Just did some ugly stuff to that plastic. Okay. Larger bit. Let's hope it works right, because the gun's actually trying to pull apart in the front a little bit. It's a little bit bigger. Alright. Something like that. It's got like a little detail. Now again, all this stuff is going to be painted to match, unify the colors a little bit. And then I'll go back and add weathering where I think it looks good. So, straight as possible. A little bit of kicker on there. Looks pretty good. Then I've got like a little detail that comes out of the bottom. I think that looks neat. It's in there pretty good, but I'm going to add a little more glue. That should hold it real nice. I feel like we need something else at the front here. This 3PO greebly is kind of neat on the front, but might be a little too long since this is one of the parts that I never used with my suit. Maybe even a little asymmetrical kind of thing. Just have it offset to one side. I always like the way that looks too. And it gives it a little more of that stormtrooper look. So these pieces line up. A little dot of this here, a little dot back here. Get this sort of stuck. So now we've got a little extra greebly at the front. You know what? I have another one of these. I might as well put that on there too. Yeah, I think I'm going to grab the other one. More drops of this stuff in here. So I think covering this gun with actual Star Wars parts helps it a lot. I'm gonna go get another greebly. All right, back. Got one for the other side to match. Sorry guys, got this thing off camera. It's the best way for me to hold this right now. I get all this stuff straightened out. I've got some more detail at the front. I don't even know what this looks like in camera. But like I said, I'm trying to weight it up in the front to kind of give it a little, I don't know, forward momentum so that it feels like the brunt of the force goes forward, even though it's just stuff. At the same time, try not to go too far with it because I don't want to make it look overcomplicated. But basing this kind of on the Stormtrooper blasters, which have all those rubber, I don't know, T-tracks at the front, or what are they called? Rubber, I think they're like windshield wiper pieces. They're little fins all over the front. And if I can get that sort of overall feel, I'll be happy. So, got that. Let's see. And I'd like to get the scope on there, which is right here. Wonder if this thing will still, if I locked it out. I might have glued this shut. Oh, there it goes. So this goes back. I don't know if I should glue this in the rearward position or front. If I glue it in the back, I can put this here, and I think that'll look really cool. And it actually sort of helps the detail a little bit. It'll never fire another Nerf bullet, but I think it'll look a little bit more Star Wars-y. Oh, here goes that. Plus, when this is back, it looks like you see more detail. I think that kind of looks neat. So I think I'm going to glue this back, and that will be it. From now on, it'll be completely static. So it's a choice we're going to have to make. So one little drop there. Now this is glued. So let's see how we're going to put this on. You know what, I'm going to glue a couple little holes so that this glue will really have something to grip onto. Using a tiny little bit. I'm going to do it here. So I'm going to put some little holes. Here. And some more up here. There we go. And I'm going to do the same in the bottom of this piece. This will give a little bit better mechanical lock. Plus I sanded this earlier, which should help as well. So I will glue, get my scope sort of mounted here in a position that I like, hopefully. There's a little bit of kicker just to hold it in place. You can see this side is not on there very good. So, just a little bit of crookedness from my sanding job earlier, sort of preventing that from doing what it needs to do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put quite a bit of glue under this side, kick it a few times, and I think it'll help it grab. Let's build up the glue. Now I think that reads a bit more Star Wars-y, I think. Or maybe this little detail up here, sort of a big blank spot here. I'm going to add this, and I also have a 3PO greebly, another one that I can put on this side next to the scope. Kind of maybe looks like a dial or something to dial in your aim, maybe. Just thinking what it could be. Alright, there's that. I think that's already kicking off because it's sprayed with kicker. Now on this side, probably put this big R2-D2 piece. Seems like something that would work nicely there. Some glue down. Drop this in place. Let that soak into the cracks. Alright, so that's a little more. This other piece I had on here already snapped off, so that's no good. I wonder if I have any tubing, metal tubes I can put on here. But I already think that the feel is starting to work. Now, it is colorful and weird, but imagine this unified with some gray and some silver, and then weathered up. I think it's going to look very, very nice. So let's see, what else do I have here? I don't know how much more it's going to really need, honestly. I think it's getting pretty close. I don't want to go too overboard. Got this piece here, which actually fits almost exactly over this part, but I don't know if that's a good look or if I'm just kind of reaching now. Got some more of these. Oop. Okay. I think should we go for that? Yep, I think so. It's going. I'm doing it. So what I'm going to do here is put down a little bit of glue on each side. So set these in. Oop, dropped one. Good job, Gordon. Set these in place. Glue. There we go. This one needs some more in the back. It's not going to cut it. I'm going to put enough Zap-A-Gap down. There we go. Alright, got those. This is another kind of interesting piece that may or may not have a home here. I don't know. I don't know if there's a really good spot for this. And if there's not, I shouldn't force it. Glue down here. All right. So I'm adding glue here, but I may actually run some screws into these things so they don't pop out. So I think this is going to be it for right now. I think this is all the detail it's going to really need. I don't know if I need any of this other stuff. Any of these parts are even going to fit on here in any kind of way that makes sense. Let's look. It's valve fitting, but I think that's a little bit too much. That looks ridiculous. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I'm not going to do too much more. I think I'm going to go prime this, unify it, and I'll come back in when it's time to weather it, maybe add some more metal details. Like I have these little screws here that are real screws that I think are going to look good. Actually, I might put some of these in here now. Why not? Let me see if I got a good base to work with here. A little bit bigger drill bit. Got glue all over my hands. It's awesome. I do have a little metal detail I wanted to add up here, but I don't know if it needs it or not. I am just adding these a little bit randomly in places where I think they look like they would look good. Just putting some random holes. Make sure I got screws that all kind of look the same here. A few different types. There we go. There's 3 of these guys. You can actually screw these in. Let's see. It's not magnetic bit here. There it is. I guess it is a little magnetic. Every time I let go of the pieces, the little screws, they'd fall off. Come on now. Might need to go one size bigger with this drill bit. Ugh. Alright. Stepping it up. One size up. Always fun making mistakes on camera. All this is a little trial and error every time. One step up. There we go. Let's see how these fit now. Yeah, that's gonna be better. Go. Yeah, having real screws in here makes a big difference in the look for sure. Another thing I'm going to do is once I paint it, I have some aluminum tape that I'll use to do some metal accents. I think that'll look nice. Let's add a couple more of these screws to this side. Great. Which one did I use? This one or this one? You guys remember? Yeah, this is the one. This one's a bit much. here. Any other places where I might need some real screws? Don't know. Let's see what I got here. Kind of nice little detail, real small, subtle thing. But that's going to take a different type of screw. So let's see what I've got. Some machine screws. Where's that piece? It had a little metal piece. It was really cool looking. Real simple thing. But there it is, right in front of me. It's got a little latch. I thought that would look pretty neat on the stock here. In a sort of realistic way. So for these, oh, jeez, Gordon. Because of this. Wow, okay. That was interesting. See if this works. The screw might look a little... That's good. That actually looks good. I like it. Make sure this little clasp is as straight as I can get it. Looks neat. Cool. That'd go up. Drilling through multiple layers of colored plastic here. There we go. Got those. Now, where's my little plate? Did I already drop it? Here it is. This thing looks pretty neat. I'll put that on this side. Another real metal detail. And there's some little, let's see, a couple little screw holes in here already. I think this would accentuate nicely. Go. One. Let's see what screws we got. You know what? Go. Jesus Christ, this is watching it live. I only have 3 minutes left. I'm about to run out of video anyway, so I'm gonna finish this up. This is the last piece, and then I will be on to paint. So I will get that on my phone, I think. Oh my God, I'm running out. I can't believe it. I'm almost full. Card is almost full. There we go. This is good. Right. Alright guys, this video is going to end right now. Here's a quick look right before paint. This is what it looks like. I'm going to go paint it. There's only 2 minutes left on this card, so I apologize for the shortness. This rambling long video of me making this thing. I'll be back with the, it'll be primed and roughly painted, and then I'll come back and detail it on camera. So see you guys in a minute. Yeah! Guys, so I'm back. I am shooting this on my phone now because I ran out of space on my other camera. I have primed, let me see if I can get some light on this. I've primed up this whole gun, which in the last video I had added the greaseproof, so now everything is somewhat unified. I'm going straight with this gray base coat, and I'm going to add a lot of black acrylic paint, straight acrylic, mostly like a weathering technique. I'm going to brush this stuff into the crevices and cracks, wipe off the excess, make it look really grimy, and then I'm going to add some silver highlights to the edges, just dry brush technique, real straightforward, and then some earth tone weathering in between just to really make it feel lived in, and I think that'll be pretty cool. So I am going to just do that now. I'm not going to film it because this camera is also almost out of memory, but I will pop back in and show you what I have done momentarily, and maybe I'll get some clips of some of the steps, but nothing special. I may as well, hell, why the hell not, right? I'll start now. I'm just gonna grab my black here. I'm gonna put some of this in a cup, real easy, straightforward. What did I just do? Here's my brush. Have a regular chip brush, and it's not a problem. I will use this. I just got a text message just popped up right in front of my video. So use my chip brush, dip it in the black here like so, and I have a paper towel here which I will get a little bit of water on, just enough to have a damp surface, and I'm just going to take this and just tap it into all the spaces, almost like painting in everything I can, and then wipe off the top. And it doesn't matter if it looks dirty, that's the point. Whatever is left behind, and that's just makes it more interesting to look at. Brings out all the detail. Makes it feel like a used item, which is exactly what we're going for here. So this is the first step. Sorry, my light doesn't go back that far. Now the paint layer underneath this isn't all that, it's really fresh, so this might not be the best thing to do at this stage, but I gotta get it done, so I'm doing it as quick as possible. And yeah, so I'm gonna dry brush this on, just hit it with a napkin to take off a little excess here and there, and I'll keep going until it's all done. I have put down the initial black coat. I don't know how well you can see this. It's just a wash over the whole thing. I patted it down with a paper towel, but I didn't really wipe too much of it off. So it does have a sort of blackish finish, but it is darker in the crevices. Now what I'm going to do is run over it with some natural kind of earthy colors, some maybe like burnt umber, maybe some ochre, the brownish, orangey kind of colors. I'm going to wash it and just get a little bit of that stuff to fit into the crevices and pretty much wipe it all down. And then I'll go back and re-add some of the silver highlights and maybe call it done after that. It's going to be pretty quick. It's not like a, you know, an excellent top-notch job, but I'm doing this very quickly. So here it is at this step. So this is some burnt sienna and yellow ochre, and I am basically just washing this again with some of this paint, but not as much. I just want to get a little bit of color in the crevices to kind of imitate some sand. Another trick you can do with this that I may do in a moment is mix this with the Elmer's glue, like I did with some of the other stuff, and that will make it like a little bit lighter shade. It almost makes it look more like dirt. When it dries, it kind of gets hazy and dry looking. It looks like it's been through the sand. So I'll add some of that as well. Same color palette, but some of this right here is just regular paint, and some with a little bit of glue added, and all wiped off again, and then we'll be on to the next step of dry brushing some metal accents. Alright, so I've gone through my first wash with all the colors. I've brushed the whole thing over with a very light coat of metal and accentuated the corners a little bit. Now I'm going to go back in with the earth tones and maybe a little black here and there just to punch up the shapes a little more. And then maybe one last hit around some of the edges with the metal colors, and I think we'll be good to go. So it has been, I am about 30 minutes in now to this. So not very long, almost done. Again, this isn't that crazy of a job. It's just enough to make this thing look decent on camera. All right, so here's the look. Here comes the dog to inspect. It's pretty metallic, hints of rust color here and there, and it's pretty straightforward, but I think it reads pretty realistic as far as being a metal object, and with a little bit of weathering and so forth. So here's a look at this gun in the light. These lighter areas, I used metal tape, which gives it a little bit of bright reflectivity. I think it reads pretty decently in camera. Natalie suggested I give it a little bit of color, so I did a red swatch there. I thought that was a good idea. So this is what we are looking at right now. The top view. Kind of a down the barrel look. I think it reads pretty nice. So I'd like to do maybe a makeshift strap. If I have some kind of weathered or distressed fabric that I can make like a strap where it's just sort of tied to the gun, I think that would look really nice. I might do that before I take it up there today. Take a little more close-up video of this just to show the small rust effects and things that I don't think really showed up on the video yesterday. Again, this is done really quickly, but I think it feels very much like real metal in person. And this was all done with very cheap acrylic paints. I didn't use any hobby paints or anything, minus the base coat, which was done with a Krylon gloss, not even primer, it's like a paint with primer included. Get this to focus here. And the band that's wrapped around here, shoulder strap, is just a boxing hand wrap that I used. I cut it down and then I hit it with acrylic paints, the same washes that I used for the metal parts, same exact colors, and then I hit the fabric with sandpaper because it's basically brand new. So I wanted to weather it, make it look a little lived in, cut the bottom up. If I can get this to focus here, probably not. But yeah, up close, I think it reads pretty nice. Especially for a NERF gun, not too bad.